Hey, true seekers, welcome back. Sack here. It's January 5th, 2017, a Thursday. The big news story today, the supposed torture yesterday, January 4th in Chicago on Facebook Live. They're making this story very much about race, an ongoing theme in the mainstream media, which has been pushing racially divisive news stories for several years now. In the time of the Obama administration, we have seen the mainstream media make a lot of news that is racially based, and that is not coincidence. The people who control our media, who are Freemasons, who are Zionist Jews, have mottos such as divide and conquer and order out of chaos. And for as long as we've had television media, newspaper media, magazine media, these same entities have controlled the information and have always used these news devices to divide the people. There's so much racial hatred in this world largely because of what the media programs. And in recent years, they're bringing it to a head. Quickening pace of racially divisive stories, and this is just the latest. So this morning, this was the focus of the news. This afternoon, the focus of the story has now become Paul Joseph Watson of InfoWars and how he falsely connected this to Black Lives Matter, which became viral on Twitter, one of the biggest Twitter stories of the day. And first, what we're going to do is decode the news story given to us about this young special needs student being tortured by classmates. And then we'll take apart InfoWars, the disinformation shill network, where Alex Jones is the face of it. Paul Joseph Watson also works for it. So what we're looking at here is a screen capture of CNN's front page this morning. This was taken probably 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9:30 on the East Coast. Torture broadcast live was the headline. 4 arrested in Facebook live beating of special needs teen. And since the arrest, the headline has been that they've been charged. The 4 suspects have been charged now, and on TV they're saying this will be a hate crime, just like how Dylan Stormroof in Charleston is facing a hate crime. And what we're going to get to is how these news stories are contrived. The people who participate, there's a reason that they're used in these news stories. They're paid off, they're blackmailed, but they are chosen to help create this divisive propaganda. And that's exactly what it is, from the Charleston church shooting to this latest Facebook Live torture. The headline in Gematria, torture broadcast live, sums to 86. Just like the word symbol, just like the word triangle, just like the word pyramid. With regards to money and paying people off, on the dollar bill, there is the pyramid with the all-seeing eye that says annuit coeptus above it. Triangle and pyramid in English reduction or Pythagorean gematria, both of those words sum to 41. 41 is the 13th prime number. On that pyramid, there are 13 layers of bricks. Here we are in the United States, a nation ruled by money, profit over people. USA equals 41. Think about it. The 13 stripes, the 13 colonies, 13 years of public school programming, 41, the 13th prime. Words such as citizen and republic also have gematria of 86, and this is truly programming the republic, programming the people of this nation, the citizens. Symbols, symbolic news. So here's the reporting. A young woman who broadcast the beating and racial taunting of a man on Facebook Live, notice how there's no names given, has been arrested with 3 others in connection with the gruesome attack, Chicago police said Wednesday. The disturbing 30-minute video shows a man tied up and his mouth covered, cowering in the corner of a room. His attackers laugh and shout, "Fuck Donald Trump" and "fuck white people" as they kick and punch him. The video shows someone cutting into his scalp with a knife, leaving a visibly bald patch. You can watch this video. I'm not going to show it to you. Remember, they want this imagery to be in people's heads. They're trying to stir them up. They're trying to anger them. They're trying to make them fight with one another. Again, divide and conquer, order out of chaos. The powers that be rule over us by keeping us fighting amongst ourselves over nonsense, such as race, such as religion. Police said the victim is an 18-year-old with special needs. Officers found the disoriented young man wandering a Chicago street in crisis Tuesday afternoon. He was so traumatized that it took most of the night for him to calm down, so he was able to talk to police, Captain Steven Sesso said. Captain SS. The suspects, 2 men and 2 women, all 18, are in custody awaiting formal charges, which are expected to be filed Thursday. So I just want to point out that scalping, he gets scalped in this video, has gematria of 81, just like the city of Chicago where it happened. They mention how he was in crisis and emphasize those words. In crisis sums to Chicago like chaos. The Freemasons believe in order out of chaos. Right now they're trying to stir up the public. They want people to react, fight against each other. There are bills floating around all over this nation, and Illinois is one of the states considering signing this bill known as Blue Lives Matter. And the purpose of Blue Lives Matter is to militarize police so that police can protect themselves better against Black Lives Matter. Number of police saying that Black Lives Matter are a threat and a threat to police. And because of this, police need more armor, more high-powered weapons, more armored vehicles, more surveillance, more cameras, essentially building a police state and blaming Black Lives Matter as the reasoning. Now, right now, the news is saying that Black Lives Matter is not responsible, but it's too late. The news has already gone viral. People have already got viral. People have already gotten worked up about it. The mainstream media has been giving this type of programming anyway, that Black Lives Matter is a threat. Earlier this year, there was the stage shooting in Dallas, blaming the Black Lives Matter protesters for targeting police. Fictional story. They said they had to use a robot with a bomb to blow up the shooter. Completely fictional. Completely made up by the numbers. Go back and watch my videos on it. Anyhow, in crisis, Chicago, chaos. Think about Chicago and the first black president. Here's a racially divisive story again, black versus white. In the time of Obama, all this racially divisive propaganda. So this story, it came yesterday, January 4th, 2017, a date with 42 numerology. We're going to talk about how relevant that number is to InfoWars, Alex Jones, and the Freemasons, who believe in divide and conquer, order out of chaos. But also, 42, a number stamped on black people in a negative way throughout history. Black History Month is February, the only month that sums to 42. The most hateful word for black people, which begins with an N, sums to 42. The slang term brothers sums to 42. The word boy is 42. The word bus is 42. Think about black history on the bus. Look at Rosa Parks, her date of birth and death, and see if you notice anything interesting. So anyhow, this incident came yesterday, the date with 42 numerology. Yesterday on my radio program on Truth Frequency Radio, every Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, I was talking about the significance of 42, the racially divisive headlines yesterday as well. Donald Trump hiring Omarosa, the first notable black member of his cabinet, in addition to Ben Carson, who already has the numbers coded on him. It's just sick what goes on in this world, especially when you realize how it's all being orchestrated purposefully by the numbers. You know, even if this story were real, bullying really does happen. Kids do cruel things to each other because of all the negative programming in the society, you know. Every day there could be a news story about a child being horribly bullied by other kids if they wanted to. So remember, when the media puts out these stories, they're choosing them to feed their agenda. Right now, there is a legitimate agenda to divide us among race. So even if this story were real, the reason they're putting out, letting everybody know about it, is because they want it to work people up. You know, you could turn on the news every day and it could be all positive things. It could be teaching you about how to be more healthy, how to be more nutritious, how to live longer, you know, how to be happier. You know, it could be teaching you new skills, things that could benefit you. Greater understanding of this world, but instead it's constantly fear, negativity, nonstop. They want to scare you. They're talking about the Hate Crime Act in here again, how this could be a hate crime. They're saying they've been charged with a hate crime. Hate crime also sums to 46, like Chicago, like chaos. This story, hate crime charges under consideration. The victim knew at least one of his accused attackers from school, Commander Kevin Duffin said. Though he may have voluntarily gotten into a van with the group, police are considering kidnapping charges. Remember? And then from there, InfoWars went with Black Lives Matter kidnapping. So anyway, this officer, Kevin Duffin, look at his name. Duffin equals 33, like police. The police used again and again in race war coding. Think about the beating of Rodney King on March 3rd, 3-3. LAPD equals 33, police 33, race war 33, masonry 33, secrecy 33. Almost every single police department in this nation, right across the street, are in close proximity to a Freemasonic lodge. Not a coincidence. This is a Freemason nation. Always has been and always will be until the day we put an end to it. This is not a good order. The secret order of tyranny. The officer's name, Kevin Duffin, 58, like Freemasonry, like secret society, like annuit coeptus, what's above the all-seeing eye of the dollar bill, 5 plus 8, the breakdown of 58, 13 steps on the pyramid, like we talked about. United States, with the S exception, sums to 58, nation founded by Freemasons. This incident happened on Facebook, Facebook being used for a lot of propaganda. Remember the July 6th news stories? The captured live video of the Alton Sterling killing that was supposedly July 5th, then July 6th, the same day as the news of Alton Sterling. Later that day, Facebook Live supposedly captured a police officer shooting a man in Minnesota, Philando Castile. Then the very next day, the Black Lives Matter protest in Dallas. And what happened on July 7th? Supposedly one of the protesters killed police. They said it was the worst loss of life for a police department since September 11th, 2001. Police department equals 77. Police officer equals 77. September 11th written out equals 77. The date of that was July 7th. 7-7, the Dallas police mass killing, supposedly. Hoax by the numbers. Agenda by the numbers. This morning on CNN, the officer they had on the TV was Eddie Johnson, who's on the TV a lot with these racially divisive shootings. He's one of the black police officer spokesperson, Chicago Police Department. Eddie Johnson sums to 59, like Negro, like slave, like blues. Remember, February Black History Month ends on February 28th, the 59th day of the year. 4259 stamped on black people throughout history. Motown Records came out in 59 for a reason. Who runs the recording industry? The Zionist Jews. In the end of the Bible, it says the false Jews will rule in the end times. The real Jews have dark skin. Think about it. The Jewish, meaning not really, people are light-skinned. The Jews in the Bible, said to be God's chosen people, are dark-skinned. Think about it. Another officer name that they have in this story, another guy that makes it in the media, Anthony Guglielmi, has gematria of 84, like United States of America, like divide and conquer, like order out of chaos, like Jesuit. Read the book 1984 if you've never read it before, written after World War II. George Orwell, the author, he wrote another book that's even better to read called Animal Farm. But if you read 1984, no doubt that book is about the United States of America and where this country was heading, written after World War II. It's very much like the nation we live in today. People ruled over by screens and fear and tyranny and always at war, always being lied to. I'm going to link this blog post in my description like I link every blog post in every description of every video I do. If you come to this, I have one of my older videos linked in this blog post. This is Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook going on an interview on television, and the host asks him to take off his hoodie. They want to see what's up with his hoodie, and he gets all nervous and sweaty. And then on the inside of the hoodie is this logo, which has the Star of David right in the middle, the Zionist symbol. Very interesting. Mark Zuckerberg, his birthday is Israel's Independence Day. How perfect. Remember, the United States of America, always been run by the Freemasons and the Zionist Jewish banker tyrants who are they false Jews. Facebook Live also sums to 52, like government, like hate crime act, like Dylan Roof, who's also in the headlines right now. Just yesterday on the date with 42 numerology, he said there's nothing wrong with him psychologically, and if he could do it all over again, he'd kill those people again. You know? All meant to provoke. This is all stuff that the people of the nation don't need to know about. And if the people of the nation knew the truth that all this news was being made up just to provoke them, well, that's what needs to happen, so they can see exactly what's being done. Not only do we not need to know about this even if it's real news, just wait until people figure out it's all been contrived just to piss them off. Continually having our heads filled with lies, fear, intimidation by this Freemasonic, Zionist, Jesuit-run media. Remember, the Jesuits are pretty much just the Zionists within the Catholic Church. A lot of people got that history wrong. They think it's the Jesuits first, but no, not at all. Think about the beginning of the word Jesuit, Jewish. It's not a coincidence those words are so similar. Gematria, a Jewish practice, what I'm showing you. There's also this mention of McDonald's. The timeline. The victim's parents reported him missing Monday, telling police they had not heard from their son since dropping him off at a Saturdays at a McDonald's in the Chicago suburb of Streamwood. See, that's just more of this proof that it's bullshit. Remember, McDonald's is headquartered just outside of Chicago. No doubt this is product placement, subtle advertising. These mega corporations are your government. McDonald's is your government. CNN is your government. Facebook is your government. Remember last year, or a little more than a year ago, all of a sudden this story came out of nowhere about the killings of Ronald Johnson and Laquan McDonald, Ronald McDonald, these two stories at the same time that were both supposedly from a year earlier. And then at the same time, there was a false flag shooting in San Bernardino. They first blamed it on 3 athletic white males. Then they said it was a Middle Eastern married couple 12 hours later. Remember this? San Bernardino, where the first McDonald's restaurant was opened. If you missed my videos on all of that and how it synced up with the 1984 San Ysidro McDonald's massacre, which was by the numbers, these are all things you need to check out. All important information. In 1984, there was supposedly a McDonald's massacre. A shooter went in, killed a bunch of people in the restaurant, California, San Ysidro. In California, the police homicide code is 187. The date of that shooting was July 18th, or in most parts of the world, 18/7, like 187. The shooting came exactly 187 days after Ray Kroc died, who was the founder of McDonald's. 187 days after his death. He died in the beginning of 1984. And the headquarters of McDonald's in Illinois, the town name, I think it's Oak Park, Illinois. If that's the right name, it sums to 187. You can look up McDonald's headquarters. It's the suburb of Chicago. The gematria is 187. I got several videos on it. San Ysidro also has the same gematria as massacre. They call it the San Ysidro massacre. But anyway, there's a reason they put McDonald's in here. McDonald's food poisons people nationwide. Toxic food on purpose, meant to make you sick. Anyhow, police in Steamwood said that after the man was reported missing, his parents began getting text messages from someone claiming to be holding him captive. Streamwood in gematria sums to 52, just like Facebook Live, like government. Coded story, no doubt. CNN, their footage, they make sure to show the faces of the people who are supposedly responsible. They're trying to get that black on white programming going again. You know, yesterday it was Dylan Stormroof people got subjected to. Today it's the young black people who picked on the special needs kid. Here's Eddie Johnson. I wonder if Eddie Johnson knows about how the 59 stamped on him and what 59 represents. Eddie Johnson, if you're watching, one more for you, buddy. They say AIDS was discovered in 1959 in the Belgian Congo. Belgian Congo equals 59. A lot of people know AIDS invented to target specific populations. Black people, homosexual populations. I want to point out that black and white in gematria sums to 113, like mainstream, like perverted, like dishonest. Up at the top, I forgot to mention, this headline, it sums to 86. This headline has a S and a V in it. There are 3 letters that have exceptions with the English reduction. All the way reduced, it sums to 86. If you do the S exception, S in this calculator, in this current calculation, S is worth 1 and V is worth 4. But both of these letters have exceptions. S is the 19th letter. 1 plus 9 becomes 10. 1 plus 0 becomes 1. That's why S is worth 1 in this. You can make S worth 10 because you have to add it together twice. It's the only letter in the English alphabet you have to add twice to get it to a single digit. So S can also be worth 10. If you make S worth 10, this headline equals 95, the reflection of 59. V is the 22nd letter, and in numerology, you don't have to reduce 11 or 22. So if you make V worth 22 instead of 4, because 2 plus 2 is 4, if you make it worth 22, it's plus 18 more. So with the S exception, it becomes 95, plus 18 more is 113. And these are all fair rules. This is all proper gematria practice. So this headline also has a 113 coded into it, like mainstream, like dishonest, which is exactly what this story is. It plays on a real narrative in society, bullying, doing horrible things to each other. And really, by them putting out this information, it's just going to create more of this in the world. There probably is already a story. A kid saw this morning and wanted to go do it to somebody at his school. There might be multiple of these stories throughout the nation today. That's the way this world works. You put something in someone's mind, then it's there. Then when they're angry, when they feel like acting out, they might emulate that. Copycat. So 113, number often coded into the mainstream propaganda. Today's date, the date of the news, date with 43 numerology, I've been explaining. Freddie Gray, Michael Brown, Trayvon Martin, all these stories, they code the number 43. 43, where the Charleston church shooting happened. Here's what you need to know. The Civil War president was Lincoln. Obama's from the land of Lincoln. Lincoln was born on February 12th, the 43rd day of the year. And Civil War in gematria equals 43, so does Charleston, where the Civil War began. Obama's the 44th president, but only the 43rd man to be president, just like how Trump's the 45th president, but only the 44th person. Remember, the word birther equals 44. Trump, Obama, from the beginning of the Obama administration to the end, both men connected to 44 in the presidency. There were 44 kings of Israel. Anyway, Obama's the 43rd man to be president. He was first elected November 4th, 2008, which equals 43. He gave his acceptance speech in Grant Park in the land of Lincoln, Grant Park, 43. When you write out 42 as a word, it also sums to 43. The news story yesterday, the date with 42 numerology. So, now let's jump to InfoWars, making this story attached to Black Lives Matter, which is an ongoing agenda. Black Lives Matter is controlled opposition created by your government for things such as this. Controlled opposition. We'll talk more about it. So they've been charged with the hate crime. This happened yesterday, the date with 42 numerology. This is the symbol of the Freemasons, the compass and square, the people who believe in divide and conquer. Freemason equals 42. I should mention that Zionism equals 42. It is Zionists that run your media, that run your world banking, that run your world government. InfoWars equals 42. It's InfoWars that created the false viral news. InfoWars equals 42. World G represents 42. Alex Jones, the leader of InfoWars, Alex equals 42. Alex Jones' birthday is supposedly February 11th, which is the 42nd day of the year. And supposedly he's 42 years old right now, but he looks pretty old for 42. I mean, some people who are 42, they could look as old as him, but Alex Jones looks pretty old for 42. And for all of you who think Alex Jones is Bill Hicks, I recommend you go listen to some Bill Hicks from the 90s, speaking out way ahead of his time, a man with a sense of humor, intelligence. I think saying Alex Jones is Bill Hicks is an insult to Bill Hicks. I don't think they're the same person. His date of birth, another thing interesting about it, 11/2, that date's written in most parts of the world. Zionist equals 112. You don't see Alex Jones speaking out against the Zionists much. In the US, we write this date 2/11, a lot like a 211. 211 is the 47th prime number. The word agent equals 47. For those of you who play video games, it's been made into movies now too. That character Hitman, his name's Agent 47. Agent equals 47 in Gematria. The Freemasons also have something called Euclid's 47th problem about how to establish foundation. The word foundation is 47, framework 47, authority 47, obey 47, judge 47, gavel 47. The flip of that, 74, jury 74. Notice he was born in 74, reportedly. 74, another important number to the Freemasons. Before we get to 74, I want to point out that Alex Jones in Pythagorean Gematria equals 33. If you do the S exception, there's one S in his name, plus 9 more, Alex Jones is also 42. A lot of 42 on InfoWars and Alex Jones. Alex Jones also came to be after the Waco incident, which was a complete controlled opposition event in itself. David Koresh killed at 33, the entire thing by the numbers. Go back and watch my older videos on Waco, what happened with Timothy McVeigh in Oklahoma City, and September 11th, and also Columbine. All of those stories are interconnected propaganda that all foreshadowed each other and were all riddled together. The Columbine shooters said that they wish they could have hijacked planes and flown them into New York City skyscrapers. That was 1999, just 2 years before 2001. I think they said 168 people killed at Oklahoma City. New York City's 168. There's just so much. There's so much. NYC's 42. It's on the 74th meridian. But anyway, Alex Jones, Mr. 42, came on the scene after Waco as controlled opposition. Alex Jones, what he's always done is taken people who are awake to the lies and then he misleads them with more fear and more scare. You know, making people look like idiots, making people make stupid decisions, like telling them to vote for Donald Trump. Notice how all the controlled opposition from Alex Jones to Julian Assange led people in the direction of voting for Donald Trump. Another controlled opposition stooge that works for the same game. See, this is what controlled opposition does. It takes people who are seeking truth, seeing what's wrong, and then it steers them back into the system. Fear, supporting the wrong things, you know, consuming things you don't need. When you turn on Alex Jones' show, I've never been able to listen to his show because all it is promoting things. Buy this, you know, this is going to happen, buy this. It's just like, plus that fake gravelly voice, I mean, put it to bed. Here's a little more 33. Alex Jones is on the Genesis radio network. You know, he claims to be a Christian. Most shills do. Why do they do that? Because it sucks in the majority of the American people who are Christian. A lot of Christians see how sick and perverse the world is. So they look for fellow Christians for answers. They think Alex Jones is in their camp. I should mention that New Testament equals 42, and it begins with the 42 generations to Jesus, and the original published Bibles were 42-line Bibles. A lot of 42 symbolism in the Bible. 42 months the beast rules for in Revelation. But anyway, Genesis, the first book of the Bible, explains the story of creation. Big Bang, the scientific explanation of creation. Freemasonry, controlling this world. Media, money, science, government. Just look at all the 33. Masonry and secrecy, 33. Order, 33. Federal, 33. Race war, 33. InfoWars participating in the race war today because they're all part of the same gang, working for the same network, serving the same agenda. With regards to him being born in 74, Masonic 74, Jewish 74, occult 74, special number. In 2014, I said why Muhammad Ali would die at age 74. He was born in 42. He got Parkinson's at age 42. 42 stamped on black people in a negative way. Right after Muhammad Ali died, then what happened? Kimbo Slice died at age 42, born in 74. And Kimbo Slice was a fighter like Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali became boxing champion in 64. Remember, civil rights equals 64, Boxer 64, Miami Beach 64, Barack Hussein Obama 64. Obama elected as the 44th president 44 years after the Civil Rights Act. But anyway, Kimbo Slice, a fighter in Miami, dies 3 days after Muhammad Ali by the same numbers. Black Lives Matter, who's being brought into this, also sums to 74. Number of Freemasonry. Number used on controlled opposition, Black Panther Party 74, Dylan Stormroof 74, White Supremacist 74. Remember, right after the Charleston church shooting where everything was coded 74, they even said that Dylan Stormroof was arrested on Interstate 74, and then they took him to a Burger King. Remember that part of the detail? They were even saying on the news, wow, this white kid shoots up all these black people, and they take him to a Burger King. Meanwhile, people like Freddie Gray aren't even doing anything wrong, and they're getting murdered by the cops needlessly. Remember how the media did that? The media just tries to stir up people on different days. They're getting everyone worked up, targeting the different segments of our diverse nation. Propaganda for everyone. But anyway, right after that shooting, then the Black Panther Party showed up. They're actually called the New Black Panther Party, which equals 89, like the year they were established. The same year Huey P. Newton died. Huey P. Newton's who founded the Black Panther Party in Oakland. Huey P. Newton equals 58, Oakland 58, Freemasonry 58. This NFL season, Colin Kaepernick, they had him grow out his hairline and afro, and he's been doing the, Black Lives Matter support, etc., etc. Colin Kaepernick, 74. He was part of the same NFL draft as Cam Newton and Von Miller, who faced each other in last year's Super Bowl, which I predicted months before it happened, and I said it would be all part of the race war tribute. I said Cam Newton will be in the Super Bowl wearing the Black Panther on his helmet, playing outside of Oakland, where the Black Panther Party was established. Cam Newton became the 58th quarterback to start in a Super Bowl last year. Real stat. Huey P. Newton, 58. Oakland, 58. Newton. A Newton founded the Black Panther Party. Von Miller wore 58. I predicted Von Miller would be the MVP on top of why the Broncos would defeat the Panthers. I even said there'd be a Black Panther Party tribute. Beyonce equals 33. She gave us the tribute, her dancers at halftime. Halftime equals 74 like Black Panther Party. 33 and 74, the often Masonic pairing. The hashtag that was promoted by InfoWars, where's it at? Let's go back and find it. BLM kidnapping. Check out the gematria on BLM kidnapping. 74. How perfect. How perfect. Remember, they call our language spelling. And it seems that these Masons at the top, they're very much aware of the esoteric knowledge and practice of gematria and its worth. There's a reason that they spend all this time coding these things the same way again and again. Seems to have an impact on the subconscious of the masses. CNN's updated story, man's torture broadcast live on Facebook. Same gematria as Freemasonry. The word torture has the same gematria as racism. These people pretend to be the truth tellers, but all they're really doing, again, is participating in all the wrongdoing. InfoWars needs to be put out of business. We need to put InfoWars out of business and get all that energy and attention, focusing on things that really matter. We need to get all those InfoWars followers on allfortruth.com, the social media website for truth seekers, where people are really putting out the real knowledge, the knowledge people need, not the false fear and division. What InfoWars does every day, and so many other shills. Most YouTube truthers, especially with all these subscribers, are doing the same thing. A bunch of Alex Jones wannabes, a bunch of other paid-for disinfo. People like Mark Dice, so many more. They say the first person to put out the tweet before this Paul Joseph Watson went with it. Paul Joseph Watson, by the way, sums to the same thing as Mason. Interesting. Charles Littles sums to 163 like Barack Hussein Obama, like Make America Great Again, like Philando Castile. Again and again, this number 163 continues to show up in racially divisive propaganda. 163 is the 38th prime, And 38 is the number of death. The word death is 38, killing 38. All this stuff, they're trying to emotionally charge people so they act out. I think ultimately they do want people to kill others. I think that's where they're trying to push us to. Each day, building up the tension, pouring more gasoline on the ongoing fire. They want people to act out and kill each other. This is what the media is provoking through fake news. The media has the audacity to call the truth speakers the fake newsmakers, when in reality, the fake newsmakers are the ones who operate in high places, control what's on the TV. Should have mentioned that TV equals 42, T's 20, V 22, 42. TV, major programming tool. Programming people with lies, truly fake news. I'll link these CNN articles. You can watch the video here, the supposed torture, if you want to watch it. I'm not going to show it because, why put out their imagery? You've seen it enough. Please get this video to the InfoWars crowd. If you want to help me out, get this video all over InfoWars. Post it all over their articles. People need to know about InfoWars, the Shill operation, the Freemasonic Shill operation, InfoWars, Alex Jones, coded to the teeth, not by coincidence. Until next time, truth seekers.